Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's gaming rundown for Wednesday, May 27th, 2020, the internet news show that is as short as the day is long. My name is Ricky Thompson, and it's now officially been 75 days since I've been able to get a haircut, so I apologize for what you see. We got 4 stories for you today, but first, some housekeeping. There is none today. I didn't see any omissions or errors that I noticed from yesterday's show. So we're going to skip over that and get into the news. 4 stories. Number 1, GTA 6 coming in 2023. This is from VentureBeat's Jeff Grubb, and this is an interesting story. So let me read you the first part of the article, and then we'll get into the second. Take-Two expects to spend $89 million on marketing during the 12-month period ending March 31st, 2024. That is more than twice the marketing budget for any other fiscal year over the next half-decade, according to the company's recent 10-K SEC filing. Why Take-Two is planning to spend that much more on marketing in fiscal 2024? One of the most likely explanations is that it is when the publisher expects to release Grand Theft Auto 6, according to analyst Jeff Cohen of investment firm Stephens. He goes on to add, "We are not sure how much we should be reading into this shift, but we would note that this disclosure accurately predicted the launch of Red Dead Redemption 2 prior to that game's announcement." Cohen wrote in a note to the investors, "Take-Two management has spoken very confidently about the pipeline over the next 5 years, and existing live services execution has been excellent. However, the timing of the next Grand Theft Auto remains top of mind for investors, particularly with the stock near all-time highs." So that was the base article from very early this morning. That was the news for about the first half of the day. And then as I was doing some more research into this story and taking my notes, this particular article had a correction. So this is what the correction reads. Correction. Take-Two clarified to GamesBeat that this marketing obligation metric refers only to its contracts with third parties. It does not reflect its marketing budget for international studios like Rockstar Games. That means this does not indicate a timeline for Grand Theft Auto 6. It goes on that. I apologize for this misleading error. Okay, a lot to unpack there. First of all, we now know nothing more than we did yesterday about when GTA 6 might release. It's safe to assume, given what we do know, that it's reportedly in early stages of development, that we will not see it for another couple of years. Probably not until at least late 2022 or sometime in 2023. Honestly, there is no way to know. So we have to look for little things, one at a time, to try to piece together. It's very interesting to see how this played out today. Take-Two just announced a couple days ago it has 7 bajillion games coming out in the next 5 years, and we have to assume that one of them is going to be Grand Theft Auto 6. We're just going to have to wait a little longer to find out when it might be released. Our next story from IGN. Xbox head Phil Spencer speaks on how coronavirus will cause delays for games down the line. Logan Plant writes, speaking on Talking Games with Reggie and Harold, Spencer followed up on some recent comments he made that projects earlier on in development may see the worst of the production setbacks. Quote, "Any of the functions that actually require physical collaboration, things like motion capture, things like symphonic capture, some of that is put on hold." Spencer said, "I think on the game side, things that are pre-content complete might be impacted more than things that are post-content complete." Despite these challenges, Spencer said Microsoft still feels good about the Xbox Series X launching later this year. Quote, "We've had to work through some challenges, but feel good about timelines. Feel really good about this holiday," Spencer said. So this was reported a couple days ago that he made comments about what is being affected the most by the coronavirus lockdowns and working from home, and he mentioned motion capture as one of those things. Obviously, there are certain aspects that you just can't complete from home. I think this is really interesting, very telling about when exactly we're going to feel the repercussions of what's going on in the games industry. And clearly, that's not going to be this year so much as it will be next year and possibly the year after. We're kind of in a bubble right now, but it is going to burst sooner rather than later. And I think we can all appreciate Phil Spencer being so transparent on the matter. Our third story: Sony planning an online conference as early as next week. Jason Schreier, formerly of Kotaku, now writing for Bloomberg, writes, Sony Corporation is planning a digital event to showcase games for its next generation PlayStation 5 that may take place as early as next week, according to people with direct knowledge of the matter. The virtual event could be held June 3rd, though some people also cautioned that plans have been in flux and this date may change. This backs up a ton of what we've been hearing over the past couple months at this point, that Sony is planning early June to start its big announcements, to get the ball rolling on the PS5. And I think this is what we've all been waiting for. Microsoft and Xbox have done a pretty decent job so far at slowly giving out more and more information, building up to the release of the Series X. And Sony has not done very much of anything. They gave that Mark Cerny presentation that was not what people were looking for. Investors, sure, absolutely. But the average person did not care about that presentation. And other than that, the PS5 controller reveal just kind of came out of nowhere. And it's just a big waiting game. And I don't envy Sony in this position. It's not easy. It's not an easy time. I'm sure they've had to change all of their plans. But nevertheless, eventually they're going to have to announce something. Games, what the thing looks like, more specs, I mean anything. So it's very encouraging to hear more and more reports getting closer to that we may be only weeks. I mean, it could be as early as next week where we see this thing. Also interested to see exactly how it is that they do this online event, if it's just a video or something more interesting. I don't know. Who knows how long they've been working on this? Who knows what they think? But I'm very excited. I think this is good news. I'm hopeful. All right. And our final story today. Is a Kingdom Hearts series coming to Disney Plus? Emma Kent from Eurogamer writes, the Kingdom Hearts series has garnered a bit of a reputation for having a convoluted storyline, to say the least. So perhaps it's just as well that Disney has a TV series planned for it rather than a film, if recent reports are to be believed. The news broke via a tweet from Emre Kaya of CinemaSpot, who mentioned the series will be produced by Square Enix instead of Disney, with the company having already created a pilot episode using Unreal Engine. The rumor was also backed up by MCU Cosmic Editor-in-Chief Jeremy Conrad and Skylar Schuler, Editor-in-Chief of the Dis Insider. Schuler similarly heard the series would be an animated CG production and added that Disney voice actors would return to reprise their roles. This is interesting. I'm not a very big Kingdom Hearts fan. I've never put much time into any of the games, but there are a lot of Kingdom Hearts fans out there, and I know that the story is not the easiest to follow. So it's always exciting and interesting when a game is going to make the transition to the big or small screen, and especially if this is going to be animated and they are going to use the Unreal Engine. I think there's a lot of potential for this project to not only succeed in its own right, but also to possibly open the doors for more like it to come down the road. So, gonna have to keep an eye out on this, see how away. I mean, it sounds like this is also very early on in development, so it might not be anytime soon. that we are seeing it. That's it for the news today. So let's get right into the game of the day. Your game of the day for today is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Yeah, I know, but bear with me. I play PUBG just about every day. Play with my friends. Very fun. It's not a perfect game. I played on the Xbox. I get dropped. I lag. It isn't always fun. But the experience speaks for itself. They just added ranked mode. There's an update for it yesterday out, so that's why I'm calling attention to it now. So go give it a download. Check it out. It's on Game Pass. If you haven't played it, give it a chance. It's much more fun than Fortnite. I stand by that. Alright, that's it for the show today. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to be on the lookout for both the Iron Man PSVR first look coming out sometime later this week, as well as my review for Saints Row the Third Remastered, hopefully dropping this weekend. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and leave a comment on this video. Follow on all the social medias, and as always, I will see you tomorrow.